What's up, pussies? Hello and welcome back to another video. Today what we're going to be doing is going over the recent Braille situation. I know you guys have been flooding my DMs saying, Webz, when are you going to cover this? Sending me the videos. When are you going to talk about this? I thought at first, maybe I won't cover this, but it seems I may as well see the saga through to the end, as this seems to be the last chapter for Braille, at least Braille as it stands at the moment, because Aaron is in some quite hot water, and I'd hate to say I told you so, but I did tell you so, and I also already knew about all this stuff beforehand. So first we're going to go through the Nigel video, and I'm going to show you some stuff that I think is some of the worst shit that they could possibly do to the viewers, which is you guys. And then we're going to go over the Braille skateboarding I messed up video, because there's a lot of stuff in that needs to be talked about. So with all that being said, we're going to get into this topic right now. We're going to start off with Nigel's video. Now, this is Nigel's video right here. I'm going to link it in the description because we're not going to go through the whole thing. I have watched the whole thing. Don't get me wrong. We do like Nigel. We're a big fan of Nigel here on the channel, as he is seems to be the only one in the Braille skateboarding sphere that actually speaks the truth. At least the only existing member that remains. The rest of them all seem to keep quiet and don't want anything to do with the drama, which fair enough if you just want to let everything crumble around you. And Nigel seems to be the one that actually speaks up in this situation. So with all that said, the part of Nigel videos that really hit me the hardest was this section here.
Time to take some shit. Me and my boy Kyro are up here on the top of the Braille house because apparently all this is just trash. All of it. Like, Bear Walker sent us this when we hit 5 million. Sent us 3, right? Trash. It's in the trash pile. There's another one right here. Brand new skateboards. Look at it. It's got the tag on it. Trash pile. All of it.
So what you saw right there was all of the boards over the years that viewers have sent into Braille, the You Make It We Skate It series, rewards for them hitting subscriber milestones, like you just saw the Bear Walker 5 million. Bear Walker's a hugely popular artist. I mean, he's done some of the boards that are on my wall. Let me show you. Like, he's a pretty popular guy. Like this Raichu skateboard right here, that is a Bear Walker skateboard, and to have something like this, of this craftsmanship, just thrown into the trash is disgusting. And that is not even going over like all the viewers that maybe spent their hard-earned money on building boards, or like the Lego boards that they made, all kinds of concrete, chainmail fences, any kind of material and like situation you can imagine. Someone built a board and sent it to Braille, and they've just gone and chucked it in the trash, which is like the biggest spit in the face of anything. I get it, this stuff probably does take up a lot of space, but the fact that you couldn't donate it to all the viewers or do like a charity auction, like think of that, right? They could have done an auction in one of the last days of the Braille house where they just sat there and live streamed, right? People bid for this board, that board, this board, then donate all the money to a charity or put it towards the channel or some way. There are so many things they could have done with all this stuff that they just didn't do. And they've just thrown it into the trash, which is such a disrespectful thing in my opinion. Like, if you guys made me something, ain't no way. Like that board in the background of my thing, let me switch camera real quick. Like, you see this board here? This is made by a viewer, and she is one of the nicest kids ever, and I would not dream in a million years of throwing that away. And there are so many other things that people have made for me over the years that I just, like, I couldn't imagine ever not wanting to keep these things. But I guess that's just the difference between actually caring about the people that watch your stuff and Braille skateboarding. But yeah, let me chuck this back on the wall. So yeah, maybe think twice before you send something to your favorite giant YouTube skate channel, because they might not even give a shit and just be using it for content. But anyway, so that is the thing that resonated with me the most. That really like made me upset for the people that have been massive fans of the channel, myself included. Don't get me wrong, I've also been a massive fan of Braille in the past. Admittedly, when I was first getting back into skateboarding, I thought this channel's cool, inspiring for me. Like, I take inspiration from their videos. I have done in the past. Obviously tutorials, they're not owned by them at all, but some of the You Make It We Skate It videos, I've tried to make boards in the past, and don't get me wrong, inspired by Braille for sure, but the difference is how they've treated their employees after this. So this isn't even the surface of it. Let me switch back to this real quick. We're going to end this video. I'm going to X out of this video from Nigel. It's definitely worth a watch if you want to get a little bit more information, but I'm going to go through this I messed up video because this is something that Nigel didn't do in his video, and I've paused it at a few key moments that I'd like to talk about. So we've got 4 or 5 key moments here. Let's see what my man says.
That occurs in my personal life. My personal life is my personal life, and I'm going to keep Braille skateboarding about skateboarding, specifically teaching, motivating, and inspiring. So that's what it's about, and I'm pushing that forward no matter what, and if people want to make it about something else, that's on them.
So he says all he cares about is pushing, motivating, and inspiring skateboarders, right? You'd think if that was the case, all of this money that their channel made, and don't get me wrong, right? I've done a brief bit of maths on this to try and tell you exactly how much money they have made over the years. Their channel, right here, if we go onto here, on the About section, where is it? Right there. You can see it has 1.869 billion with a B, billion with a B views, and let's just say like a conservative CPM or RPM, I should say, which is how much you get paid per 1,000 views here on YouTube. For me, I swear in my content, my videos are shorter than theirs, and I make about £6, maybe £5 on average per 1,000 views, and they're obviously in dollars, so £5, say about $6.50, and also they don't swear, so you can probably add a bit more on for that. But conservatively, let's just say it's the same or similar to mine at $6.50. They're going to be making over $12 million in the time that they've been posting over the last like 10 years or so. 12 million, that's 1.2 million a year. An average of like 100K a month when it comes to since they've had the Braille House. So I thought I'd jump in here real quick just to clarify that I'm using Mr. Beast's own platform right here to estimate revenue. And as you can see, it's 4.3 to 12 million. That's just based off the YouTube long form views, no shorts whatsoever. And that's conservative because that 4.3 is with a very low RPM. If it's anything near mine, their RPM, which I would assume is even higher, then it's going to be 12 million or maybe even more. And remember, that is just from views. That doesn't include any product sales or anything like that, any sponsorship spots or people that pay them to send them products to doing videos, stuff like that. So this is a conservative estimate, and as you can see, again, just from views. So you can probably triple or quadruple that if you want to include product sales and stuff like that as well. Which, if you can't make all this work on that, I don't really know what to tell you. Like, that's just an average as well. Like, some of these months they would probably be making close to $500,000 in their prime. Admittedly, now they're probably making like 10, 15, 20K, but back in the day, they were making hundreds of thousands per month. And for that to all go into Scientology and not into skateboarding, because bear in mind, there is multiple things, I'll put one on screen right now, of Aaron handing over millions, and I mean millions of dollars to Scientology. Nigel said it in his video as well. This is 100% true, so this isn't just like me theorizing. They literally donated the money from the skateboarding into that. And to say all I care about is pushing, motivating, and inspiring after donating all the money from skateboarders, from skateboarding into this cult that, bear in mind, does some pretty sketchy stuff. They try and unalive people that leave and talk shit about them. It literally says in their like handbook that if you're a kid and you have a relationship with an adult, that's fine, which is probably the reason why they covered up the whole Carlos situation and still haven't done anything about that and lied about that in the podcast that I covered recently. But anyway, that's just a big tangent we've gone on there. They could obviously afford everything. They've just put all the money into the cult instead. And that's money from people that buy their skate products, from their YouTube channel, all of it. So the reason why they don't have their channel isn't because, oh, YouTube views are down, this, that, and the other. It's because they donated all their money somewhere else. But yeah, let's jump into the next little section I've got.
And I told this to all of them as well. So when I was growing up and I was trying to come up in the skateboard industry, I had really good sponsors, some really top-notch, top-level sponsors. And I just felt like I was never quite given an opportunity.
And now we can see why, because this dude is extremely weird, doesn't give a crap about any of his employees, is doing all kinds of nefarious stuff behind the scenes. He's lying about stuff I've said, like in his podcast with Lamont Holt. He just goes and lies straight to their face about his position in Scientology. He bigs up Carlos after the Predator allegations. Like, this is just one hell of a weird guy. And back then, before he had his own business, I'm sure the sponsors that he was with probably had an inkling on this, which is why he didn't get pushed into the higher categories, the higher echelons of skateboarding. But that's just my personal opinion. Obviously, could be wrong with that, but chances are I'm probably not, because everything else I've said about Aaron up until this point has been pretty spot on. So anyway, let's get into this next section.
Oh, October 2026, I believe was the date. October 2026. To go back to the whole changes in YouTube, it basically dwindled down to where I was making $14,000 a month on YouTube, which was covering barely the Braille House rent. But then,
right, so here he's complaining about not having enough money to cover the rent for the Braille House. What I just went over with you a minute ago shows that on average over the last 10 years, they've made about $100,000 per month obviously, like I said earlier, a lot of that would have been coming in big chunks during the prime of the channel, like 100K, 500K a month. And for that to be the case and you not to put some of this to the side in case something like this happens where the views are down or you can't afford it and you haven't got the savings, instead you just put all that money into a cult, you got no one to blame but yourself, my old mucker.
Add in the salaries of all the skaters, the filmers, the editors, and all the payroll on top of that, you can see, like, as a small business owner, what position am I in, and that's where...
You say small business owner, but your business has made over $10 million just from YouTube ad revenue. That's not including any product sales, board sales, Skateboarding Made Simple sales, Braille Army Plus member, whatever the hell stuff they have, their subscription service. That's not including any of that. That's just the base level, and that's conservative as well. Like, if that was my channel getting that many views, I'd be making about that. But their videos are longer, which gives you a higher RPM, so you make more money. They don't swear in their videos, which means you get more money. They're from the US, which means your audience is predominantly US, which means you get a tad more money than like the UK and stuff like that. Conservatively, I'm saying 10 to 15. But yeah, if you've not got the money from that to pay your bills and you're still calling yourself a quote unquote small business, then this guy's got all of his stuff, all of his ducks in the wrong order, and it seems the community is finally starting to wise up. I mean, look at this like to dislike ratio right here. We've got 3.5k likes, 11k dislikes. If you want to bring dislikes back, by the way, it's a plugin, bring dislikes back. Funny enough, that's what it's called. Anyway, let's go into the next section. So we're gonna X out these real quick and get on this one.
I do everything I can to keep everything as positive as possible.
Okay, now this thing here, this is what I personally would call toxic positivity. When you want to make every single thing about your persona, about your channel, about your life, extremely positive all the time, it comes off as inauthentic. Like when I see a YouTuber, skateboarding or otherwise, that's always like, oh, everything's so good, amazing, happy-go-lucky, all this, that, and the other. While it can be good for a video or two to cheer yourself up, to see it every single time from the same person, just constantly trying to be positive about everything, it just doesn't feel real in my personal opinion. I know some of you guys probably have a different opinion to that, but for me, if someone's not showing a bit of the bad along with the good, then it's just not genuine. I don't think it is anyway. Like if someone says, oh, these are the struggles that I've had, this is what we're going through, this is how we're going to fix it, that's a lot more motivating to me than someone who's like, oh no, it's all good, bro, it's all good, we're not going to let anything get us down, all this, that, and the other, just ignore the negativity, we'll be fine. Fair enough if you want to ignore the negativity when you're at the top of your game, but when stuff is coming crumbling down, I think it might be time to turn around and give a little listen out to the people that are talking shit, because they might have a bit of truth behind what they're saying. At the end of the day, you always have to be open to criticism, and if you're going to be pretending everything's positive all the time, it's just not legit. It's not how life is.
You guys might even notice that. I know, well, why isn't Aaron making a video about this? Well, because it's entirely negative, and the world needs a positive place where skateboarders can come together.
It's like, oh, there's a nonce working for me, better not say anything about that because it's negative. Could have got rid of them, could have filed a police report, could have known that they were drunk teaching kids, which we obviously know he knew, because for example, if a friend of mine, which he says they're all his really good friends, if a friend of mine comes into work and he's drunk, you best know I know that instantly, and I'm not letting him anywhere near kids. But yeah, this is just like, it blows my mind how so much stuff flew under the radar. And when I was calling all this shit out, admittedly, most of you guys were on my side and knew the problem at the hand. There was still a small section of Aaron fanboys that were like, oh, you're just doing this to hate. But as you can see now, my read of Aaron Kyro was pretty on point. But yeah, we've got one more section to go through. Let's check out this, right from near the end of the video.
That's all. I'm just trying to teach people how to do a skateboard trick. Like, you either learned how to kickflip or you didn't. If you did, I achieved my goal. If your goal was to learn how to do a kickflip and you learned how to do a kickflip, that's awesome. And I don't have any harmful intentions or ill will towards anybody. I just want everybody to keep going, and I hope that in the future, we can keep the videos positive. And
see, listen to this. All he wants to do is keep the videos positive. All he wants to do is teach people how to skateboard. Not anything about being brainwashed by a cult. Not anything about the fact that he disappeared from the channel for 3 years. Nigel talks about this in his video if you want to clarify this. But he disappeared from the channel for 3 years, told them he was in business school, and they found out that he was actually in like some training course for Scientology. And then he came back and he was all of a sudden the leader of Scientology in San Francisco, which he was questioned about to quote unquote clear the air on Lamont Holt's podcast, and he just said, "I'm not the leader of Scientology." It's not the question you were asked, bro. Go watch my video called "The Manipulation is Disgusting" from Aaron Kyro if you want to see the full details on that, because I debunk everything that he said in that video, show proof of it all and proof of everything that he's lying. So this guy is a complete scumbag in my opinion. The way that he ran out on his employees, didn't tell any of them to have a last session at the Braille House, just completely disregarded everybody, and it just seems to be all selfish intentions from this guy in my opinion. Like, I feel bad for the viewers of the channel and the people that have sent them stuff and had it just chucked into the garbage. I feel bad for the other skate parks that need materials that these guys just threw away. All the lies that Aaron told. If you watch Nigel's video, again, he debunks quite a few of the lies that Aaron says. Like, Aaron goes, "Oh, we donated this ramp to this place," and Nigel goes to that place, no ramp was ever donated, they know nothing about it. So it's just lie after lie after lie. And to be honest, it's good to see that everyone's seeing how much of a goon Aaron is. Like, you can say all you want, like, oh, keep the personal life personal, this, that, and the other, keep the cult out of it. But when all the money is going from the skateboarders to the cult, and the skateboarders under your roof aren't being paid properly and have now been basically kicked out of a job that they worked hard to maintain, it's just complete bullshit in my opinion. Aaron's lying constantly. And it's good that the public have finally seen this. But anyway, that's pretty much it from this video. I'd highly recommend you don't watch any more Braille videos. If you want any tutorials, I've been dropping them for you, so go check those out. Otherwise, go subscribe to Nigel and follow him on Instagram because he's been going for a few things.